cannabis and its potential impacts. And Meta is cutting 10% of its global workforce, laying off about 8,000 employees. The company says the layoffs are to improve efficiency and reallocate resources towards AI development. In addition to these layoffs, Meta is also eliminating thousands of open roles that will no longer be filled. It marks one of Meta's largest cuts in years. And a major emergency response out in Denmark this morning after 2 trains crashed north of Copenhagen. Officials say at least 18 people were hurt, including 5 in critical condition. That crash happened early this morning on a popular commuter line, and authorities say an investigation into the cause is underway. And in Florida, a former law enforcement officer was arrested for allegedly planning a mass shooting at a jazz festival in New Orleans. NBC's George Solis has the latest.
Tonight, a potential terror attack foiled. Authorities in Florida taking former law enforcement officer Christopher Gillum into custody for making terrorist threats. According to the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office, Gillum was arrested after learning he planned to travel to New Orleans to carry out a mass shooting at a festival. Deputies tracking Gillum to a hotel near the Florida Panhandle, where they say they found a gun and around 200 rounds of ammo. According to the Associated Press, Gillum's family had told North Carolina law enforcement he had a gun and expressed recent threats to harm black people.
We're going to continue to ramp up our security to protect those people who come in and out of the city of New Orleans.
Though not directly named as the target, the popular New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival that starts today and draws hundreds of thousands annually, putting out a statement that says in part, Jazz Fest is grateful to all law enforcement partners for their dedication and exceptional service. New Orleans has increased their security after the ISIS-inspired terror attack on Bourbon Street last year, where an Army veteran drove into a crowd, killing 14 people. Gillum was a law enforcement officer in North Carolina for more than a decade, even awarded Officer of the Month in 2025. Tonight, the governor praising his arrest.
This was a great outcome to what could have been a tragic event.
And Gillum appeared before a judge today in Florida. He is still awaiting extradition to Louisiana.
Tragedy averted. George Solis, thank you. And coming up, a major federal bust of the Mexican mafia here in Southern California. What we're learning of those arrests and the crimes they're accused of. Coming up next.
3 minutes, sir.
All right. We got 3 minutes. Okay, chat. I don't know what happened to the YouTube, but let's see. SJ Nolan, yeah. Ashley, chill with the glazing, you bots. There's all kinds of crazy bots today. What is going on here? Twitch, yeah, the Irish Island, it is. You guys are always on best behavior. Aw. Thanks so much, Steph. Wow, from New Jersey? No problem. We'll try to be here for you as much as humanly possible when things get crazy. Let's see. So, yeah, if you guys are just tuning in and you're wondering, wait, hold on, we can talk during commercial breaks? Yeah, we can talk during commercial breaks. If you have questions about the news, want to talk about the day, want to talk about, I don't know, something you saw on the news, feel free to put it in here, and either the community can talk about it or I'll try to address it. And sometimes, if we're lucky, which has happened, Tina knows, you'll put something in the chat and the next thing you know, it's on TV. We're doing a full story about it. We are getting so much insight into the way you see the world from you guys weighing in, so really, really appreciate it. Let's see here. Deciding on YouTube to also... Whoa, hi. Dude, you are so great. Thank you so much for that. Any info on the governor debate? Did you watch it? I want to know your thoughts, Tina. Kala Lily, you got to guess. I am, but what country? Canada, where do you get your news? Where do you guys get news? I knew about NBC for 50 years. We get our news from everywhere. And most of it is first-person reporting. I mean, you saw we led the show with our reporter out in Lebanon. We've actually got Steve Patterson right here in the studio. What up, Steve?
Going? Hi, chat. What's happening?
How's it going?
What's popping?
He's about to report on the Mexican mafia.
Yes.
Bro, you're not even worried? Have you
not
seen Blood In, Blood Out?
I'm a little worried. I know, it's It's intense, man. Mm-hmm. It's intense.
All right. Let's see here. Everybody says hi, Steve.
Hi, guys.
Twitch.
What's happening?
Twitch says hi, Steve.
What up, Twitch?
30.
Ironically, his name is Hi Hi.
What shit? What
Seriously.
do you mean?
That's Hi Hi.
Username Hi Hi?
217. Yep.
Hi.
Yep. SSJ. What about second best? Second best. Maybe. Drop site. Second best. Colette. That's a good one, right? Baddest Chicano in the barrio.
5, 4, 3.
All right, welcome back. It's a massive operation across Southern California. The FBI and local police have indicted 43 alleged members and associates of the Mexican mafia. You can see some of these arrests here. They face federal charges including racketeering, conspiracy, kidnapping, fentanyl distribution, and murder. Also known out here as La M. The Mexican mafia has allegedly been controlling street gangs directly out of American prisons for quite some time.
The Mexican Mafia is a prison gang. It is the most powerful prison gang in the United States. Despite being incarcerated in state prison, they're still running the gangs out in the communities. And today's operation is focused on dismantling that operation.
And joining us now is NBC's Steve Patterson, who's been following this. We just heard this is the most powerful prison gang in the United States. How did they crack this case here?
La M, the gang of gangs. They're calling this operation Gangster's Paradise. It was a lot of coordination, right? You have local police working with the FBI, working with the DOJ, all for this one day, essentially, although this has been going on for at least the last 2 years or so, wiretapping undercover agents, tracing the money. So a lot of the investigation was centered on the drug trafficking, which they were into heavy. And we're not talking about like street gangs, right? This is not marijuana. We're talking 8 pounds of fentanyl, 120 pounds of meth, 6 pounds of cocaine. They confiscated 25 firearms, $30,000 in cash money. These guys are serious, as you know. It's really run through the prison system, as they were saying. It started in the prison system almost in the 1950s. They've been fighting this battle, and it's sort of gone up through now through this guy, Luis Cardona, who is one of the current shot callers, apparently was leading the entire Orange County operation of the mafia from inside prison, had a confiscated cell phone, was using encrypted messages to send messages to his people on the street. The people they arrested today, 25 of the 43, and then they had others that were already previously incarcerated. They were really just associates. The members themselves, the leadership, all in the prison. The thing that's so big about this bus is they're hoping that a lot of that leadership shifts from the state prison system to the federal prison system, which will make things like having that confiscated cell phone and running an operation that much harder.
Wait. So it shifts from state to federal, in the shot callers that are in state prisons are now in federal prisons, so it's easier to investigate potentially?
Potentially, right? But it's just harder for them to have the method of getting in and out of the system, right? I mean, this guy was doing things like he would tell somebody that got picked up by the police to destroy your phone, pour water on it, and they would do it. I mean, because there's so much fear and so much, you almost have to pay a tax if you're one of these street gangs, especially in Southern California, Orange County, Southern Los Angeles. Those are the places that they targeted, and they're hoping that crime in those areas drops significantly just by the fact that they made these 30 busts.
And those taxes that were paid to the prison, I've heard from undercover officers that have worked on this, that was in part to make sure that when a member goes to prison, they have some sort of protection.
That's right. Yeah, it's almost like a little fiefdom, right? Like if you aren't paying into that system and you are operating as an organized criminal within sort of their regional territory, like you're definitely in trouble. Those are the people essentially that they're going after, including one of the crimes here, murder. There was a a cartel sort of hotel. I should say mafia hotel or gang-related hotel where a gang initiation was essentially done through murder. Part of the indictment here, heinous crimes.
Wow, fascinating. Steve, thank you so much.
Thanks.
And remember back in February when there were those crazy long TSA lines at airports? Well, we are still in the midst of a partial government shutdown, and Congress has yet to pass a bill to fund the Department of Homeland Security. Negotiations continue to stall, largely surrounding disagreements on ICE reforms. And Democrats have released a list of demands to rein in immigration agents and reopen the department. Well, DHS has quietly been rolling back some of those controversial policies. And NBC News senior Homeland Security correspondent Julia Ainsley.
Well, Gotti, we may all have been feeling that there's been a shift in tone from the Department of Homeland Security ever since Homeland Security Secretary Markwayne Mullin got put in the job and Kristi Noem was taken out. But now we're able to actually find out there have been real changes in the policies that ICE has been using previously to try to boost the numbers of mass deportations to make good on President Trump's key campaign promise. And in some ways, they are staying the same, but in two key areas, they have really changed. One is a verbal communication that went out telling ICE officers that they now need a judicial warrant in order to enter a home. Previously, beginning with the raids in Los Angeles last summer, ICE officers and any immigration agent, including Border Patrol, could enter a home with a warrant simply signed by their field office rather than a judge in order to enter a home. A lot of critics at the time said that was a violation of the Fourth Amendment. Now ICE is backing off of that, saying they do need a judicial warrant in order to enter a home. Then we also know in February of this year, ICE officers were told only to do arrest in courtrooms in very specific cases where they felt that there was a target that needed to be arrested there. Previously, there had been a systematic change where immigration judges were dismissing asylum cases from the bench so that ICE officers could do more arrest in court. It's what led to a lot of the friction in the videos that we've seen coming out of that court in New York last summer where there were so many arrests there. Now immigration lawyers and advocates across the country say they've seen a sharp decrease in court arrests. In fact, many of them reporting they have not seen any in the past month, although ICE says they do reserve the right to arrest in court when necessary. I will also say, though, from talking to those advocates and lawyers, they say this is a lull, that they don't believe that the Trump administration has really done a 180 when it comes to how they want to carry out deportations. This is a president that campaigned on deporting over 1 million people. It's still being led by Stephen Miller, who said that America is for Americans and Americans only. At this point, it seems that there are some political wins that the White House is paying attention to, and specifically starting with the January 24th fatal shooting of Alex Preti at the hands of Border Patrol. They've started to take a softer touch, as the president said to our own Tom Yamas. But in many ways, these are certain parts of a machine that could easily be turned back on with a very quick reversal of policies like these. And they have a significant number of court wins that they got last year that could also be helpful, including a key decision from the Supreme Court that allows ICE officers and other federal agents to stop someone and make an immigration arrest if they have a reasonable suspicion someone has broken the law, and that they can base that reasonable suspicion simply on characteristics rather than an underlying crime, and then they can find out about an immigration violation later. So for now, those advocates saying there's a lull. We are seeing a soft change in policy, although they're not always broadcasting those. We got this from our own reporting. But again, things could change between now and the midterms. Gotti?
I sure can. Julia Ainsley, thank you. And coming up, Warner Brothers and Paramount are one step closer to this major merger, but not all of Hollywood is on board. More ahead, so stay tuned.
Claire, 2 minutes.
2 minutes! All right, Big Mike says we have 2 minutes to talk. All right. You again, SML? What are you talking about? Entertainment Express? This is a good interview from Washington, D.C. It is. Julia Ainsley is awesome. Lisa's in the house. Hi, Lisa. How are ya? Renless. What's up, Renless? Thanks so much. Durga Prasad. I don't know how I multitask. Sometimes not very well. Koleteza followed. I think you had some blood in, blood out quotes that I was loving, but I can't remember which ones they were. Let's see. Yes, we're going to be talking about the WB Paramount merger right now. It's going to be, I think we're talking to Dominic. Let's see. Who do we got coming in here? Oh, we do. There we go. Hello. Hi, how's it going? Great to see you. All right. We got Dominic Patton in the house.
1 minute back.
Did you know about this? We got a new stream going.
Look at that.
I'm doing an experimentation here. So what I'm doing is during the commercial breaks, we're able to chat with the stream live. And then during the full show, we go picture in picture, and then it's just kind of like a, Twitch streamer.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. They are going to tell us how much they love you and how
They're not going to say
how you should run this, and I should just take a hike. That's what's going to happen.
They're not going to say.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good to see you.
How are the kids?
Oh my gosh, growing so fast. It is crazy, yeah.
I've got a crazy 8-year-old at home.
Oh really?
8/going on 18.
Oh my God, did you bring him to work today?
Pardon me?
Bring him to work today?
I did not.
Okay. Yeah.
Mainly because I worked from home for most of the day.
There you go.
Or down at the LA Superior Criminal Court building.
Right.
Not place I'm going.
No, not where you want to take him. Hey, welcome back. One of the biggest deals ever in Hollywood is inching closer and closer to the finish line. Today, shareholders of Warner Brothers Discovery approved this merger with Paramount Skydance. Now, the vote removes one of the last hurdles to the whopping $110 billion acquisition, which would bring together huge franchises, Harry Potter, SpongeBob, DC Comics, all under one roof. And Paramount CEOs, they made a pledge to keep movies from both companies in theaters for at least 45 days, while also promising 30 movies a year between those two studios. But it's not exactly a done deal just yet. It's still got to get approved by antitrust regulators over at the DOJ, and it could also face a separate legal challenge from California's AG, whose office is looking into the deal as well. Let's bring in Dominic Patton, executive editor at Deadline, to talk a little bit more about this approval. So close to the end with the merger, and yet, a lot of people in this town are not happy with it. Is there anything that could throw a stick in the spoke?
There's a spanner in the works at every turn here, my friend. You mentioned right there in the introduction the California State AG. There are actually a number of AGs around the country who've been looking into this. I will say primarily blue states, because let's be clear, the Ellisons, who Donald Trump himself calls their good friends, tonight are literally having a dinner in Washington, D.C., to honor the Trump White House and CBS White House correspondents, though there won't be many CBS News White House correspondents there, in anticipation of the White House Correspondents' Dinner this weekend. So this is already part of this is a very much ideologically based business deal. There are some issues that are already there. There's the antitrust issues, for sure. That's very clear that a lot of people have that. But more importantly, you've seen with the state AGs, they had success with bringing the Live Nation lawsuit to fruition after the DOJ bailed on them, right? They've also stopped the Nexstar-Tenga merger now, at least temporarily. So they're feeling emboldened, and there is a lot that can be done here. If you look at this in terms of antitrust, if you look at this also in terms of commitment, more importantly, I'd say for a lot of people here in LA, and you mentioned the thousands of people, a lot of big names, J.J. Abrams, Ben Stiller, many people signed a petition about this. Big job losses are anticipated. Paramount will take over Warner Brothers Discovery with a $78 billion debt, it is estimated. That is a lot of jobs have to be lost. You also are taking two studios, and even though there's ideas of they'll somehow be church and state separate, the fact of the matter is you are going to have some degree of overlap, and that is definitely going to lead to job loss. Job loss, and what about output? What about what people can expect at the movie theaters or on television? Well, I think, look, people can expect a lot of things, but I will say this. I've seen a lot of Hollywood executives stand up in front of a lot of crowds and pledge that they're going to release X number of movies a year, that they're going to have this great commitment to the theatrical experience, and they have not. Right. People promise anything when they want a deal to get made. There's a lot in this that the Ellisons can point to and say, look, this is a smart deal. They've got the TV strength of Paramount, specifically CBS, clearly, as a big three broadcast network. And they've got the movie strength of Warner Brothers. I mean, literally, Warner Brothers were the only people who were going to win Best Picture this year. It was either going to be Another Day, Another Battle, or it was going to be Sinners, both Warner Brothers movies. I mean, they have a really strong slate. And as you mentioned in the intro, they've got DC too, so you take a little bit of Tom Cruise, a little bit of DC, you mix all these things together. Still, the reality is these mega mergers are changing the landscape of Hollywood as fast as technology is, and eventually it is going to lead to simply less buyers for more sellers. Yeah, it's going to be quite the topic of dinner conversation today, tomorrow, through the weekend in Washington. As you mentioned, we got the White House Correspondents' Dinner coming up. Trump is going to be there.
How do you think that's going to go down?
Awkward. Very awkward. Remember, Donald Trump has not been to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. He did not go at all in his first term, and he has not gone until now. He went in 2011 when then President Barack Obama roasted him, as well as having in the back of his mind that he had a bunch of Navy SEALs about to go get Osama bin Laden. So a real president actually doing a real job. This is going to be very different. And they're not having a comedian. They're not having anyone like that kind of do the roasting of the president. They're having a mentalist, which you can take any way you want. Trump supposedly is going to come in and is going to come out. You got a lot of people from his administration who have been invited by CBS News or by Fox, which is on brand for Fox. A lot of people are like, I don't think that the First Amendment attacking presidency is the one I want to be celebrating with. So I think you're going to see a little bit of the Washington elite, bi-coastal elite, I guess, which you and I may be members of, maybe not. I think there's a lot of friction about how this is going to work. And also, too, I will say this, okay? 25% he doesn't even show up.
25% he doesn't show up?
Doesn't show up. He's Donald Trump.
Yeah. He rolls in, possibly steals the show. I mean, I'm sure he's going to have a battle plan here.
Yeah.
But yeah, always appreciate talking to you.
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks so much, Dominic. And turning now to one of the biggest days in the NFL. No, we're not talking about the Super Bowl. It is the 2026 draft. And while last year brought fans to the small town of Green Bay, this year the draft is in the Steel City, Pittsburgh. Different location, same deal. 32 teams taking turns selecting the college players they are betting their futures on. So how much are these college kids going to be paid when they go pro? Let's bring in Sam Brock, who's in Pittsburgh right now. So Sam, draft started about an hour ago, right? Any big surprises in the first couple of picks here?
So we're inside Acrisure Stadium right now, Gotti. No big surprises with the first pick. That went exactly as planned. Fernando Mendoza out of Indiana, the Heisman winner. We thought that was going to happen. Really, the surprises have been rolling on in ever since. David Bailey went second to the Jets. It's a proven sack guy, one of the historically highest pressure rates for any edge player in the history of college football. But a lot of folks thought the Jets were going to be taking Arvell Reese, who has a higher ceiling. He ends up going 5 to the Giants. He's a middle linebacker, straight out of Jim Harbaugh's sort of school of hard knocks. And so that's how it shook out. The third pick was Jeremiah Love, all-world running back, considered arguably the best offensive player in the draft. Not surprising that he went to the Cardinals at 3, and then Carnell Tate, stud wide receiver, goes to the Titans at 4. They just drafted a quarterback last year. They get him a weapon. This was not how everyone drew it up. And then the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, you might have heard of that guy. They were picking in the top 10, Gotti, for the first time in years because they've had this unbelievable quarterback who got injured last year. They weren't good. They just traded up to get a cornerback. For all the NFL fans out there, they're probably not listening to me for analysis, but that was surprising. I do want to show you, look at this scene behind me at the Acrisure Stadium. You've got thousands of people out there strewn on the field, almost like in a camp-style setup on blankets. Most of the seats on the lower levels are filled as well. We can't show you the broadcast, Gotti, because that's an NFL Network feed, but it's very cool to be in this environment. As you mentioned a second ago, Pittsburgh hasn't hosted an NFL draft this century. It's actually been more than 70 years, and so this city is just sort of savoring every single moment. Roger Goodell came out, of course, the commissioner for the NFL. He got booed. That's always what seems to happen. And then he says, how's Yins going, Pittsburgh? And like, Yins is apparently the same thing as y'all, so he was trying to sound colloquial. That's what you missed out here in Pittsburgh, got it.
Yeah, I would be very nervous to be a goalpost down there right now. Okay, so Sam, put this in like layman's, all of us normal people terms that we can understand. How much is Mendoza going to be making here?
Okay, I can keep this normal. Well, it's not a normal number. It's $54 million over the course of a 4-year contract. The way the NFL works now, you had quarterbacks that were getting these $150, $200 million contracts right out of the gate, and the NFL corrected that about 15 years ago and said, we got to put in a rookie wage scale. This is out of control. So Mendoza's getting $54 million. If you break it down, ends up being about $800,000 per game. $200,000 for a quarter, roughly $13,000 per minute played. Yes, that sounds obscene, but I will give you context. The Mahomeses and the Jalen Hurts and all the elite quarterbacks in the NFL right now, Joe Burrow, they're making $55 to $60 million per year. Mendoza's contract is $54 million for 4 years. Then he makes even more ungodly money after that. But that's how the pay scale breaks down.
see it still. I mean, a used car every minute that you could buy. This is why they don't pay me that much. Sam, I know also Pittsburgh gets snow days for school sometimes. Yeah, so many skateboards. But you have snow days now. Then you have a draft day out there in Pittsburgh today for the kids at school. What are the whippersnappers saying about no school today, or at least virtual learning?
They were so happy about this. It was virtual learning, which is to say all these kids were like, okay, we're checked in, and then we're going with our families to wherever we need to be able to just enjoy this moment. That's what I saw. You can understand the security, though, issues. These school buses are all delayed. They got to make 3 different rounds in the morning, 3 different rounds in the afternoon. If one gets delayed, it sets the whole thing back. Kids are wondering, when am I going to get picked up? So that's what they were up against, Scotty.
Yeah, I bet math teachers, though, are pretty appreciative of this. Tomorrow they're going to be like, okay, $13,000 a minute. How many is that a second? How many cents are we talking? How many dollars? So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Sam Brock, thank you so very much. Always good to see you, brother. And coming up in the future of everything, how a filmmaker is redefining how AI can be used to make movie magic. But first, you got to see this. There was this chilling moment when a hiker in Los Angeles tried to scare away a big old bear that was boldly walking towards it and tried to make as much commotion as possible. But that plan quickly backfired when the bear, charged straight back. Park rangers say hikers hid in the bushes until the bear passed and made it back down the mountain safely, fortunately. So good reminder, if you are out here hiking in LA, keep your head on a swivel. We'll be right back. Dominic, you're the best. Thank you so much.
Come on, man. Anytime.
We'll see you soon.
Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Okay. That's not counting his endorsements. Come on, Lisa. We need some endorsements here. That's crazy talk. All right, let's see. Troy Aikman got $11 million in his contract in '89. Loboto Cat, that is crazy. That's a great stat. Did you just pull that off of the top of your head, or are you like that fast at pulling those? That's wild. He got robbed. I will take $11 million for a year. That would be nice. Dan Marino, laces out. Monkey Beasts, thanks. Oh, sorry, man. TikTok, all right, check back. Hi, yes, last block pre-taped, it is. It is, laces out. Finkel and Einhorn and Finkel. Is it Finkel? I think it is. Commander Spock, no way. No, that would be too hard. Do you know how stressful it is to be around celebrities? It is, celebrities and politicians, I don't know, it's tough. It's tough. Yeah, that's a weird thing. 24, Jake, how long do you do this? LOL, 24/7, all night into the morning? No, it's about to end, I'm sorry to say. We only do it from 5 o'clock on the West Coast to 6 o'clock on the West Coast, 8 to 9 Eastern. It's a news show. Actually, we do it a little bit before and a little bit after, but we try to do it for an hour. But I was thinking about maybe streaming a little bit earlier in the day so we have a little bit more time to chat, because I do want to hear everything that you guys are thinking, everything that you guys are saying. Oh, MG elevator rides with celebs on 30 Rock. Yeah. I mean, 6th floor, Jimmy Fallon, SNL, it's wild. I freaked out once because I saw, the guy, Andy from SNL. I loved his stuff so much. And Kyle, oh my God, Awkward Interview Kyle, he's my favorite. Stream a whole shift? That's a good idea. That would actually include maybe like a Polytopia break too, because sometimes I just need to do my daily challenge, and then you guys can see how bad I am. SJ, no, okay. Yeah, that's wild. I don't, you know that I work way more. It's like an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, Lisa, you definitely are. You definitely are. Campbell Corn Lab, this is a great format. Thank you so much. We'll keep trying it. LA Nights with Gotti. Yeah. Sandberg was, yeah, he was great. He was great. Put that on an idea list for Lisa. Yeah, and I think next week, Lisa, if I'm not mistaken, we're gonna possibly maybe try to bring Instagram in on this as well. We'll see how it goes. But it is fun. And I gotta tell you guys, I have more trouble paying attention when I don't have many things to pay attention to. My brain works best when it is like full fire hose of information to the face in a bunch of different directions. And that's what we're doing here with the news. That's what we're doing here with Slack. That's what we're doing with the scripts, with breaking news. And then now we have that with the Twitch. It is so nice. So my brain thanks you. The mug. Oh, man. Big Mike just took the mug. He took the mug. That means that I need to leave. That means that they're done. And they're like, get off the mic because we need to put it away and we need to go home to our families. And so do I. Always cold in the 6. The leg. It's getting better. I've been taking my wife's red light therapy mask and then putting it on my foot. And I'm convinced that I'm going to shave like a week off of my recovery time. So anyway, SML, Instagram next. Paying for gas, like 6 something. It's going to be rough. Anyway, got to go, guys, because I got family. That's right. We'll see you guys later. It's a fun chat. Talk, not tomorrow. I'm not here tomorrow. And I'm not here Monday either. Oh, sorry to say that. Not here tomorrow, not here Monday, but I'll see you guys Tuesday, and I will miss you very, very much. Hasta.